Yes, welcome back. I was out shopping, then it was very slippery, so I did fall, but I did fall on my back. No, I did fall backwards like this on my back, but I was very lucky. I had my backpack. I had my backpack on my back. So when I did fall, my backpack did hit the ground very hard. So that was very lucky. But I did hit a little bit here, but not much. So I was very lucky. I did not break my back or my neck. I need some yogurt. Yes, let's finish reading about Auschwitz. I have to read it again. I know about this Nazi Germany and the Holocaust because I had it in my high school. But I've not read that much about it. So that was super evil. The Nazis did that. Actually, I think that could happen again. That could happen again in the future. And they still have. They have in North Korea. North Korea, they have labor camps like this. And they have it in Russia. I think they have some secret, in Siberia they have some secret prisons, labor camps. And under the Soviet Union, the Stalin dictator, did kill many million people. And there's a gulag, but I'm not read much about it. That was super evil. But I think that could happen again. Could happen in a more evil version because we have much better technology today. Could happen in the future. And many more millions. So dictator in the future, in like 100 years or 200 years, some crazy dictator killing 100 million people in camps like this. Could happen again. Because human and people, they are very evil. They are very evil. They're like war now in Gaza, Israel. They're just killing each other, everyone. And in Ukraine, they're killing many 100,000.
Italy, 7,500, Norway, 690, and others, 34,238. Timothy Snyder writes that fewer than 1% of the million Soviet Jews murdered in the Holocaust were murdered in Auschwitz. 239, of the at least 387 Jehovah's Witnesses who were imprisoned at Auschwitz, 132 died in the camp. 240, resistance, escapes, and liberation. Camp resistance, flow of information. Camp of Death pamphlet, 1942, by Natalia Zarembina, 241. Camp of Death pamphlet, 1942, by Natalia Zarembina, 241. Halina Krahelska report from Auschwitz Oswiecim, Pamiętnik Wiesnia, Auschwitz, Diary of a Prisoner, 1942. 242. Halina Krahelska report from Auschwitz Oswiecim, Pamiętnik Wiesnia, Auschwitz, Diary of a Prisoner, 1942. 242. The Mass Extermination of Jews in German-occupied Poland, a paper issued by the Polish government in exile addressed to the United Nations, 1942. The Mass Extermination of Jews in German-occupied Poland, a paper issued by the Polish government in exile addressed to the United Nations, 1942. Information about Auschwitz became available to the Allies as a result of reports by Captain Witold Pilecki of the Polish Home Army, 243, who, as Tomasz Serafiński, serial number 4859, 244, allowed himself to be arrested in Warsaw and taken to Auschwitz. 243, he was imprisoned there from the 22nd of September 1940, 245, until his escape on the 27th of April 1943. 244, Michael Fleming writes that Pilecki was instructed to sustain morale, organize food, clothing and resistance, prepare to take over the camp if possible, and smuggle information out to the Polish military. 243, Pilecki called his resistance movement Związk Organizacji Wojskowych, ZOW, Union of Military Organization. 245. Captain Witold Pilecki. The resistance sent out the first oral message about Auschwitz with Aleksander Wielkopolski, a Polish engineer who was released in October 1940. 246. The following month the Polish underground in Warsaw prepared a report on the basis of that information. The camp in Auschwitz, part of which was published in London in May 1941 in a booklet, The German Occupation of Poland, by the Polish Ministry of Foreign Affairs. The report said of the Jews in the camp that scarcely any of them came out alive. According to Fleming, the booklet was widely circulated amongst British officials. The Polish Fortnightly Review based a story on it, writing that 3 crematorium furnaces were insufficient to cope with the body as being cremated, as did the Scotsman on the 8th of January 1942, the only British news organisation to do so. 247, on the 24th of December 1941. The resistance groups representing the various prisoner factions met in Block 45 and agreed to cooperate. Fleming writes that it has not been possible to track Pilecki's early intelligence from the camp. Pilecki compiled 2 reports after he escaped in April 1943. The second, Rapport W, detailed his life in Auschwitz I and estimated that 1.5 million people, mostly Jews, had been murdered. 248, on the 1st of July 1942, the Polish Fortnightly Review published a report describing Birkenau, writing that prisoners call this supplementary camp paradisal presumably because there is only one road, leading to paradise. Reporting that inmates were being killed through excessive work, torture and medical means. It noted the gassing of the Soviet prisoners of war and Polish inmates in Auschwitz I in September 1941, the first gassing in the camp. It said, it is estimated that the Oswiecim camp can accommodate 15,000 prisoners, but as they die on a mass scale there is always room for new arrivals. 249. The camp batch for non-Jewish Polish political prisoners. The Polish government in exile in London first reported the gassing of prisoners in Auschwitz on the 21st of July 1942, 250, and reported the gassing of Soviet POWs and Jews on the 4th of September 1942. 251. In 1943, the Kampfgruppe Auschwitz, Combat Group Auschwitz, was organized within the camp with the aim of sending out information about what was happening. 252. The Sonderkommando buried notes in the ground, hoping they would be found by the camp's liberators. 253. The group also smuggled out photographs. The Sonderkommando photographs of events around the gas chambers in Auschwitz II were smuggled out of the camp in September 1944 in a toothpaste tube. 254. According to Fleming, the British press responded in 1943 and the first half of 1944, either by not publishing reports about Auschwitz or by burying them on the inside pages. The exception was the Polish Jewish Observer, a City and East London Observer supplement edited by Joel Kahn, a former Warsaw correspondent for the Manchester Guardian. The British reticence stemmed from a Foreign Office concern that the public might pressure the government to respond or provide refuge for the Jews, and that British actions on behalf of the Jews might affect its relationships in the Middle East. There was similar reticence in the United States, and indeed within the Polish government in exile and the Polish assistance. According to Fleming, the scholarship suggests that the Polish resistance distributed information about the Holocaust in Auschwitz without challenging the Allies' reluctance to highlight it. 255. Escapes, Auschwitz Protocols. Telegram dated the 8th of April 1944 from KL Auschwitz reporting escape of Rudolf Dmba and Alfred Wetzler from the first escape on the 6th of July 1940 of Tadeusz Wojciechowski, at least 802 prisoners, 757 men and 45 women, tried to escape from the camp according to Polish historian Henryk Swiebocki. 256. He writes that most escapes were attempted from work sites outside the camp's perimeter fence. 258. Of the 802 escapes, 144 were successful, 327 were caught, and the fate of 331 is unknown. 257. 4 Polish prisoners. Eugeniusz Bendra, serial number 8502. Kazimierz Piechowski, no 918. Stanislaw Gustor Jasta, no 6438. And Joseph Lempart, no 3419. Escaped successfully on the 20th of June, 1942. After breaking into a warehouse, 3 of them dressed as SS officers and stole a rifles and an SS staff car, which they drove out of the camp with the 4th handcuffed as a prisoner. They wrote later to Rudolf Höss apologizing for the loss of the vehicle. 259. On the 21st of July 1944, Polish inmate Jerzy Bilecki, dressed in an SS uniform and, using a faked pass, managed to cross the camp's gate with his Jewish girlfriend, Klasa Górska, pretending that she was wanted for questioning. Both survived the war. For having saved her, Bilecki was recognized by Yad Vashem as righteous among the nations. 260. Jerzy Tobio, no 27273, registered as Jerzy Wesolowski, and Roman Silichko, no 27089. Both Polish prisoners, escaped on the 19th of November, 1943. Tobio made contact with the Polish underground and, between December 1943 and early 1944, wrote what became known as the Polish Major's Report about the situation in the camp. 261. On the 27th of April, 1944, Rudolf Huber, No. 44,070, and Alfred Wetzler, No. 29,162, escaped to Slovakia, carrying detailed information to the Slovak Jewish Council about the gas chambers. The distribution of the Wetzler report, and publication of parts of it in June 1944, helped to halt the deportation of Hungarian Jews to Auschwitz. On the 27th of May 1944, Arnost Rosin, No. 29,858, and Czeslaw Mordowicz, No. 84,216, also escaped to Slovakia. The Rosin-Mordowicz report was added to the Wetzler and Tobio reports to become what is known as the Auschwitz Protocols. 262. The reports were first published in their entirety in November 1944 by the United